Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on my Urban Worm Bag version 2.0. Now, the last time I opened it up, I had a ton of fruit flies or fungus gnats or whatever come flying out of the bin, and I realized I need to manage that issue right now. So I've taken care of part of it, but I want to show you what I do to manage this. I've done this on other videos before, and typically my way of doing it is you smother the entire thing with cardboard and you don't add any more food. Now, the first thing I want to show you though is how to get rid of fruit flies. And I will say, this bin or bag system works really well when you have a fruit fly infestation. So I had a ton that were coming out. I immediately shut the bin down as far as closing everything off. Nothing was coming out once it was closed. I don't know how they got in there, but right now the key is to figure out how to get rid of them. So I'm going to go and show you what I do to get rid of them, and then, or most of them I should say, and then how to get rid of them completely from your bin. Typically there's some sort of issue with your bin. It's probably too much moisture, exposed food. There could be some sort of issue that's causing it. It's normally not just something, oh, it's a healthy bin and you have fruit flies in it. At least in my case. Typically it's been too moist and there's been food that's been exposed in some way. Maybe some piece of cardboard collapsed in another section and now there's exposed food or something. So let's take a look at the bin. I'm going to show you how I've mitigated most of the issue and then how I'm going to move forward to fix it. Alright, so here's the first thing I want to show you. I have my shop vac on the ground. You can use a regular vacuum. This just happens to be what I keep in my basement near my worm bin. And then on this bin you have the two zippers here. So I'm going to move these over to this corner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this little corner. Now I've already done this, so I don't have to turn everything on, and that way you can hear me. And I would sit this underneath and I would shake the bin back and forth in all sorts of directions. And what that's going to do is all the fruit flies are going to come up. They see this light coming in through this corner and they're going to gravitate towards it and they get sucked up into the vacuum. So that's the way I do it. There's still a few coming out right now, but there's going to be more coming out, I'm sure. I did this fairly recently, but you know, there's still some in there. So I'm going to have to mitigate by dumping a lot of cardboard in there, I think, to cover things up, soak up any extra moisture. There's some other ways you can do it. See, here's one right here, as you can see. So actually, I'm going to turn this on and just get a couple of Now, when I first opened this up, they were streaming out of here like crazy. There's still some that are straggling in there, but they were streaming out like crazy. So now I'm going to open this up. We're going to see what's wrong with the bin maybe, and then we're going to add some cardboard to hopefully cover everything up. So let's come back in just a minute. I'm going to straighten out the camera. All right, so here we are. I'm going to open this up, and we're going to take a look. Now, you might see some fruit flies escape. I'm not going to be surprised. Oh, there's some more coming out. Definitely a lot in here. So as you can tell, some of the food was exposed. It looks like the cardboard over there is starting to kind of rot apart and maybe exposing some food as well. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're just going to dig in here and see how things look. Oh, there's some worms down over here. They don't look very healthy, actually. This doesn't look very good. These worms don't look like they're... Actually, those aren't worms. Those are grapes. So, okay, here we go. There's the worms. So the worms are down here in the bottom section. They look fine. They look nice and healthy. So they're doing okay. These were grapes that were thrown in there. That's what these were. I thought these were worms, and they looked really bad there for a second. I'm getting a little worried. Actually, they smell like they're fermenting a little bit, which is probably why I have some fruit flies in here. So let's just dig this up a little bit. This cardboard over here looks fine. Worms over here look fine. There's a little bit of an odor to this, so it's probably going a little bit anaerobic. I'm guessing there's something here is compressed down. Let me move this out of the way a little bit more. So I'm going to just kind of dig in here a second, see if I find anything. Maybe it's just those grapes. Maybe those grapes really brought them in. You know, those were sitting in my upstairs and with my kids. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm blocking your view here. So they might have just followed those in. So everything else in here looks fine. I think it was the grapes. They weren't frozen. I think I just threw them in here right from the kitchen. Break that apart here. Hold on here. I'm just going to turn my hat around so that way I have less of a chance of blocking your view. So here we go. So a lot of pot worms, it looks like, over here on the side. Everything else looks fine, but I definitely smell something that's not quite right. So what we're going to do, there's a whole bunch of something in here. So I've got definitely some pot worms in here if you can't see. They're moving around. So the bin's, something's off with the bin. So what we're going to do here, and it doesn't smell right either. I can tell there's something that's really off. I'm not finding anything though. And when I'm digging here, so it doesn't smell like good composting dirt. It smells like something else. So something's happened in here. I don't know if it's just the grapes, as I think, or something else, but I'm just going to try and turn this around. So there's some mold growing in here. I'm not finding nearly as many worms as I used to have in here, so I think, I don't know if they've dug down deeper. It's kind of compressed on here. There's some corn on the cob. Break that apart, which is empty. There's no worms in there. Something's growing in there, it looks like, or something. So I'm not sure what's going on at the bin, but the best thing I can do right now, I've mixed it up a little bit. I'm not going to add any food to it. It's a little dry over here and it's wet over here. It seems like it's not very mixed very well. So we're going to just kind of dig this up a little bit, put some of this good compost from the bottom on top. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to just cover this with a lot of cardboard. Try to absorb some of this extra moisture that's in here. Oh, I'm just digging to the other side again, sorry. I know I get in the way quite a bit here with these, because I don't have the camera quite low enough. But I think it's just, there's something that's off. I think it needs more cardboard to try to absorb whatever it is. Maybe a little bit more circulation in there. And we're going to try that out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bunch of cardboard. So I've got my bin full of cardboard right here. I'm going to just dump this entire thing in here. So we're going to dump that entire thing. We're just going to move it around, and this is going to absorb a lot of the moisture. It's going to cover up and make it where they can't get out, these fruit flies. They also can't dig down to get to the food, hopefully. So this is what I do to fix the issue typically, is I just add a ton of cardboard and I leave the bin sit for a while. So let me just get these pieces out of there. And that's what I do. So that's how I'm going to take care of it in here. I think this isn't getting quite enough circulation right now. I know that it can be an issue, especially in very humid environments like this, and it's very humid here right now. And during the winter, it's great because it keeps the moisture in. But right now, it's having, as you can tell, this lid is just as moist as can be, and actually growing some mold on it. So we're going to just try to dry this out a little bit. So that's my update for this Urban Worm Bag version 2.0. I still do recommend this. I think it's a great system. I do wish, and I think this is needed for all systems, is really a way to add, hold on just a second here, ventilation to these systems without opening it up to let stuff in. So if there was like a little screen here or something I could open up just to let some more air through or something like that, it would be great. Instead of having to, open this up a little bit at the corner and leave it exposed, I'd love to see something like that in these bins where you can kind of open and close as necessary. So that's my only suggestion for these. Maybe, who knows, maybe there'll be a version 3.0 at some point with that. But overall, it's working really well. Hopefully this, I don't add grapes to my bin very often. This is one of the few times I have. Hopefully this will take care of that. Whatever's causing that issue, it'll work its way through, and we'll be able to get this back and working again and get these European night crawlers going. So that's my update, and thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.